Hello, Mark Crossfield here. More Q&A questions coming at you from my AskGolfGuru app. Let's give Luke here some answers. I think he's talking about dynamic loft and shot shapes, things like that. Let's see if we can help him. Let's get stuck in. So, Luke, hi Mark, loving your work. Hashtag in. Good stuff. I have an 8.5 degree driver. Dynamic loft, according to GC2HMT, is consistently between 17 and 20 degrees. Doesn't seem good, he says. Any feelings I can work on to decrease dynamic loft? Tend to hit around 4 degrees up with an open face, with the club path between 6 to 11 degrees in to out, giving me highish fades. Everything else is good, and occasionally I boom a driver straight or with a slight draw and penetrating flight, but not often enough. Help. Thanks, Luke. Okay, look, 17 degrees is not actually that bad dynamic loft on GC2HMT because that's pre-impact, or just as the club touches the ball as close as it can get to it. Other launch monitors might measure lower because they include, or try to, they don't include, but they kind of extrapolate from the launch of the ball, which is a bit of their fault. What's happened at impact, as in how low the ball's launched, so they predict that that dynamic loft should have been X. I don't like that model so much because I don't think you can control that. I can control how you deliver the club. Once the ball and the club have collided and the collision has taken place, you're not controlling that. So giving me that number post-impact or kind of at the point the club leaves the face, for me, it doesn't make any sense. You can't control that point. Anyway, that's a different point. You say open face. Open to what? Open to the path, which suggests it because you say highish fades, or is it open to target? And the question with dynamic loft, and it's a great question because I'm glad you're getting measured, but obviously when you measured yourself or whoever's measuring you maybe doesn't quite understand the numbers that well. You've got to work, if you want to move that dynamic loft, so instantly you're thinking of how do I take that dynamic loft? Do I need to push the handle forward or close the face? Sometimes people say those kind of things. You've got to work out why your face is open, and open to what? Let's pretend it's open to a path. How are you doing that? Are you doing that with the handle forwards? Now that won't affect dynamic loft. So if your handle is forwards and then you're still adding dynamic loft, then you're doing something pretty funky. That could be grip and the way you're moving your wrists. Or are you just turning the club around the axis of the shaft like you would kind of in a bunker shot? You would just twist the sand wedge open. You don't put the handle forward, you just twist it around and then grip it. That does add loft, like when you're trying to play flop shots, those kind of things. Maybe watch one of my open swing videos. I did one recently. Look, it's called kind of open club face swing or something, I think it's called. It talks to you about how an open face to the path can be done in two ways, and one compromises loft and one doesn't. So for you, you've got to work, for me, I would want to identify how you're opening that face and what to, opening it to the path or to target or whatever you're opening it to, and then how you're doing it, and then I would try and fix that and then re-look at dynamic loft because it will affect it. Definitely check out that other video and make more sense to you. There's no drills that I can really give to you to fix your dynamic loft because you've got to work out why that dynamic loft gets up to 20. Now sometimes on GC2HMT, because of the way it captures, if you catch the ball out on the top, the dynamic loft reading can be slightly higher than actual delivery because it's trying to capture impact or just as the club touches the ball. But because of frame rates and how much us pros want to spend on these machines, we don't go to the higher frame rates because we would need to spend probably like 50k, which none of us would do, so none of these companies would sell any, apart from maybe one a year. If it hits the top of the face and the face is turning the loft is increasing because of where you struck it, and then the picture it captures is like a millisecond after impact, it's going to measure a bit more dynamic loft than actually truly delivered. So you've also, on the machine that you're using, and for your pro, you've got to use that strike as well. You've got to work that in. So if there's strikes off the top, and the dynamic loft seems to always go higher when the strikes off the top, you've got to put 2 and 2 together, that dynamic loft reading is being compromised a little bit from maybe the other readings when you're hitting it out the middle. It's capturing it at that slightly fraction different time. But you've got to get a grip around that face opening to the path, and without seeing you, I don't know if your handle is forwards or you are twisting the club around the axis of the shaft to add that loft. Until you find that out, it'd be ridiculous and pointless trying to fix dynamic loft in my opinion. So it kind of gives you an answer, but it doesn't. I'd go back and maybe have another look and talk about why is that, how is that face opening to that path? Because there's a few ways of doing that. It's not just as simple as the face is open. Well, how are you opening it is the bigger question in your question, which I can't help you because I can't see. Go back to your pro or go back to the place and hit a few shots and try and work out how that face. You need a pro really to help you with that. Kind of helps, doesn't, but kind of helps. So I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to just give you answers and then you think, oh, I've got my answer. I just want to give you the truth really, which that is. To me, there's other guys out there who'll give you some answers. But without seeing you there isn't one. Hope that helps. Post comments down below and we'll speak to you soon. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments, love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show, get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.